Today is the day. Let's see if I can show you what day it is. August 2nd. Is it gonna focus? No, it's not gonna focus. Why would it focus? It's 11:30. It's August 2nd, and I'm interviewing Karins Slaughter today. I'm interviewing Karins Slaughter today about her new book, This Is Why We Lied. It's the 12th book in the Will Trent series. Wow, this lighting makes me look yellow. I don't know if I can fix that. I don't know. I just thought we'd do a little get ready with me to interview Karins Slaughter, and I'd kind of give you my thoughts. Can I set this up here? Wow, beautiful angle. Loving it. Loving it. No. Yeah. No. Here. Oh, well, that's fantastic. What a great angle. Okay, let's see if I can prop you up a little bit. Okay, I was able to fix the tungsten lighting situation, whatever that is. So we'll do the hair first. I am gonna, oh my gosh, the nerves. Karin has no idea that I'm like this. I'm so sorry. Question number one that I'm asking Karin. I kind of want to know more about the, is Will really right for Sarah? And I know that this is the Will Trent series, but I personally started with the Grant County series. And so for me, I've been with Sarah a lot longer than I've been with Will. And so I don't want to spoil anything, but she's been married before, right? Hopefully you guys have read both series, but if not, she's been married before, and I was so in love with that relationship that sometimes it's hard for me to accept her and Will, just because, I don't know. By the way, for products we're using, I'm going to use the Aussie Miracle Curls Frizz Taming Cream, because I think this stuff is crazy, what it does to your hair. Like, the way it makes it curl is just ridiculous. Or maybe it's just my hair that's ridiculous. I don't know. So as far as this book goes, Locked Mystery, I felt like it was kind of paying homage to Agatha Christie. And I've never read an Agatha Christie, but the book mentioned Agatha Christie several times, like feeling like they're stuck in an Agatha Christie novel. And I just felt like maybe Karin was trying to do something different from usual. And she did it well, don't get me wrong. It just, for me, and you can check out my Goodreads review, it lacked kind of the typical Karin signature style, I guess, like the pacing and the conclusion. And this is something else I say in my Goodreads review. I had an early release copy. It was an uncorrected proof, right? So it had not gone through final stages of editing, and so maybe some of those pacing issues would be worked out in the final copy. But for me, I felt like the conclusion was really fast. It was like, on this page, I think it's this person that's the killer. I flip the page, suddenly it's someone else. I flip the page, suddenly it's someone else. Boom, 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 and then it just ends. And you're like, what? I had zero time to process any of that. And that's just very outside the norm for Karin, in my humble opinion. I don't know what I'm doing with my hair. I'm talking and I'm not paying attention to my hair. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do to my hair is I have this really great little Beach Babe sea salt spray by Not Your Mother's. I don't know, I like it. I don't know if it does literally anything, but I love to spray it on my hair. I can't decide on that stuff if I like the way it smells or I hate the way it smells. And then just to make sure we're really holding the hair good, I'm gonna do some of this Eco Gel. I prefer mousse, but I'm in a bit of a time crunch, and this is just a little faster to throw in and make sure we're holding everything in place. Another thing I want to talk to Karin about, besides the pacing and her kind of trying something new, is that her characters are just so nuanced. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's the good guy or the bad guy. You can get into the mind of every single one of her characters, or most of them at least, and you can feel conflicted. Like, the person who gets murdered, and this isn't really a spoiler because it's in the synopsis of the book, but it's Mercy McAlpine. And you want justice for her, right? But on the other hand, you're like, man, your life is kind of the consequences of your own bad decisions. And you're frustrated by her because she's, you know, in these abusive relationships, and we're like, girl, stand up for yourself, come on, because there are these flashbacks when she's still alive. It's just frustrating to read about these characters in Slaughter's books, because in a lot of thrillers, the person who gets murdered is a perfectly good person. They're so innocent. How could this happen? But like with a Slaughter book, it's like, no, it's a real person with real life problems and real complexities and humanity. I find it refreshing. One of my favorite characters she ever wrote was Lena Adams in the Grant County series. Don't hate on me that I love Lena, but I do. I felt like I could really connect with her. And at this point, it's been so long since I've read about Lena that I don't even fully remember why. But I just felt like she was so representative of a normal human with normal problems who got into a bad situation. And I don't know. Karin does just character development better than any other author I've ever read. Drop in the comments if there's someone who can do it as good as Karin, because I have not found it yet. What else? Like, I kind of want to know what makes Karins Slaughter tick, because her books are just so diabolical. I will never forget when I read Pretty Girls. I was listening to it, and I was out on a walk one day, and I just kept looking over my shoulder. Because I was so scared. Her books are disturbing, and she gets a lot of flack for that. She gets a lot of critique for that, because people are like saying things like, oh, you're sensationalizing sexual violence or crimes against women. Like, you could just say XYZ was attacked, and instead you go into details. And like, why do you have to go into details? But for me, some of her books have been very eye-opening about the kinds of things that women really go through. Like, obviously you live with a sense of cautiousness as a woman, but a lot of the times I think we can become disconnected from the reality of so many women in the world, especially when we're in a Western culture in America where some places are more safer than others. Like, Utah has a very low crime rate compared to, like, Atlanta is the #1 sex trafficking city in the world. So we're very diverse here in America, right? Like, we have a whole lot of different places and problems, but we can become disconnected from it if it's not talked about. And so I think Karin does a really good job of talking about it and putting in the right amount of graphicness to get her point across. There's a new, like, Gen Z does like this now. I tried it the other day. I didn't really get it for my face, but that's a new thing they do. Something else you're gonna see me ask Karins Slaughter is if she were to be arrested today by the FBI for something she'd searched on her computer, what would it be? Because so much of what she writes is like, I can't imagine what her search history looks like. As someone who wants to be a writer, I get terrified anytime I have to Google, like, the length of a knife, or I don't know, like, or a type of GUN. Like, I don't even want to say it. I feel like the FBI is going to come for me. And it's like, I'm not trying to commit any crimes over here. Or like a poison. Because then what if someone in my life ends up dead from poison? And it's like, but I was doing it for research purposes. Well, for my book. For research purposes for my book. And that's what terrifies me. I don't want to, like, shoot myself in the foot if someone near me, you know. Anyway. I feel like I'm someone who has highlighter blindness, and I just put too much on, but I don't care. I don't care, Karins Slaughter. Let's get back to the main point here. What else do we want to ask Karins Slaughter? For me, I also want to find out more about Faith. I love Faith. I think she is one of the most relatable characters. Here's my problem with Sarah Linden. Sarah's perfect. Sarah has no flaws. You can't get any flaws out of Sarah. Every time her and Will disagree, she ends up being right. She ends up being right about murders, and murders are Will's specialty. Like, that's what he does for a living. And it's like, why is Sarah always right? I want her to be wrong occasionally so I can relate to her. And I love Sarah, don't get me wrong, but I can't relate to her. Faith, Faith I can relate with. She is just a real person with real problems. You know, she got pregnant at 15, and so I love whenever a character is like, oh, can you believe this girl got knocked up at 15? And Faith's like, yeah, wow, that's so crazy, you know? Because it's like, we all have a past, and when you're talking to someone and you're making a big deal about some component of someone else's past, you don't know if the person you're talking to has the same past. And I find that so interesting and funny. Don't know if it's meant to be funny, but I find it funny. And I just love Faith. I think it's crazy that she had a daughter later in life and that she's kind of going through the baby and toddler stuff, and you know, she's still trying to find that perfect man, and I just want her to get a happily ever after, to ride off into the sunset, or I want Karin to give her her own series. Because I would follow a Faith novel, for sure. I would be faithful to a Faith novel. Wow, that was an aggressive ha. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry if you have headphones in. I think the other kind of interesting relationship in this book is Will and Amanda. Yeah, Amanda. That's my sister's name, so I get confused saying it. Just because it's like, she's a mom figure, but she's still his boss. She wants the best for him, but she's still his boss. Let me take you out in the other lighting, maybe some better lighting. Of course, now it's gonna look too blue. This doesn't even look like I'm really wearing, I don't know, this doesn't look great. I'm feeling sad about how this looks. Oh, white as a ghost. Let me. Oh, there. Laughing helps. Okay, that helped it kind of focus. Okay, I think this does look fine. Right? So I actually have 2 uncorrected proofs of this book. They sent me 2. And then they sent a final copy to my parents' house in Phoenix. So that is very exciting. So we have this one, and you can see it says uncorrected proof. And then we have this one, and it also says uncorrected proof. I'll hold them up together so you don't think I'm lying. I feel so blessed. I can't even believe little old me who's afraid. Okay, I'm not gonna do that, but I'm just like, it's just, can we just talk about this? Can we just talk about how in 2020, my friend Kayla says, Marissa, I like to read, you like to read. Let's read a book and let's talk about it. And I was like, okay. And now, 4 years later, oh yeah, it's been 4 years since the pandemic. That's unreal. That is unreal. 4 years later, I'm sitting down with my favorite author to interview her. I mean, this is, if that is not a sign to pursue your dreams, I don't know what is. Now, we don't get paid on the podcast, but the benefit I get, you know, like I get these free copies of books, I get to interview people, I get to review things. You know, sometimes you just gotta go for it. Jump off the cliff, metaphorically, metaphorically take the leap and pursue your dreams. And you know, if it doesn't work out, the worst that's gonna happen is you try. And then you try something new. Wow, this is turning into some sappy thing. I'm so sorry. I'm just so excited to interview Karin. I don't know how to end this. My favorite vlogger, she always transitions by putting the camera in her mouth, so we're gonna give that a little try here. We are about to go live. How do I look? Oh, this is my little background here. Gotta move this. I don't know where I'm gonna put it, but I have the books here that I have of hers, and then I will be sitting, I'll be sitting right here so you can kind of see it in the background. Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous. Deep breaths. I just went over the questions I'm gonna ask her just to make sure I remembered them all. Oh, I can't breathe. Okay, here we go. Wish me luck. And can I call you Karin?
Sure.
Okay. Or would you prefer Queen of Crime?
Khaleesi? No. What I want people to primarily take away is just like, wow, that was a fun read. It kept me guessing. I couldn't believe the end. I was, I thought I was right. I was wrong. That back and forth, that's my sweet spot. I love that. So anybody who's saying that, I think that's a win for me, and it means I've done my job.
Well, from personal experience, you did your job because, like I said, I was all over the place. I can't breathe. I just talked to Karins Slaughter, but you guys gotta look at my face. Look at this. I had a filter on my face. I can't believe